Hello, good morning, everybody. You're here with Mike Alford formerly of Mike's Pools and Spas. We're here at Pool Talk. Today, we're going to talk about, since we talked about pool openings the other day, there's still so many things that you can do as you're opening a pool. So a lot of times you just might need to ask somebody a question, and you can feel free to call me or comment, make comments, and so I can actually answer the questions for you that you may have on the next episode of Pool Talk. But today we're going to talk about okay, so you open your swimming pool. And I had a lady call me and she said that she primed her pump, she got it ready and put the plugs in, and but it wasn't functioning right. It was surging. Thank you, Seabass. So the pump was surging. She said it was priming up, doing good, and then all of a sudden it lost all of its water pressure. So what happens is if you look inside the pot after you prime it and you're ready to start it up, if the pot lid is not full of water and it's got air bubbles in it, you're actually getting air from somewhere. Where it could be like the O-ring. Again, you check an O-ring by bending it and looking for cracks around it. If it doesn't, lubricate it with Magic Lube. This is what you want to use. So not petroleum-based products like Vaseline. But so anyway, so the lady had air and it was losing it and it was picking up and it was losing. Pretty common thing to happen, to people. Your water is not at the level it needs to be on your pool. So halfway the skimmer or a little fuller than that. I like when you fill it up, just fill a little above that to the say the top screw down, second screw from the top. But that's a little over full, but that's the way I start out and when I fill a pool to that point. But if the water level's down and your skimmer's pulling good, it can pull all the water that it can get, and then it can't get enough water, so it sucks air into it. That happens again, like I say, when the water level is too low in the pool. That is a common thing that happens if the water level drops low, whether you have a main drain or not. If the skimmer is open and it's low and it starts sucking air, it surges, the pump will surge. So that's one of the signs of that where it picks up and drops down. If it's not that, then you might want to look and see if you got a skimmer flap stuck. It could be partially stuck, piece of debris, a leaf, stick, something could be having it stuck, and the water level be okay, but you don't know it until you get down there and look, and your flap is partially locked halfway open, and that causes it to pull air in because it doesn't get enough water. Um, One of the other things that you look at is say your pump is full of water, it's not got any pressure on your pressure gauge. Okay, so that would probably be a restriction somewhere. Usually, the first place you look is, you always want to make sure that your baskets are empty in the pump and the skimmers. So, but if debris it gets past your pump pot, and now look, you can get so much debris in these things it'll crack the baskets, and the debris can get past the pump pot. If that happens, it's going to clog your impeller, and if it clogs your impeller, you're going to wind up with the impeller spinning but no pressure. It'll pull maybe a little water, but very little, and that could cause your pressure to be very low on your pressure gauge. So that is a sign that the pump is impeller is probably clogged. So you want to look at that. Sometimes you can check, one way I can tell you is that if you have a multi-port valve, you can go to recirculate where you're bypassing sand filter, obviously, and it has no pressure either. So either way, it doesn't matter. You're not getting enough water from the pump to the filter. Um, so the problem would be check your impeller. Um, Always make sure that your seal is not leaking. Usually it's right there behind the pump pot at the very bottom underneath the pump. You have your seal, and your seal can leak. Once your seal starts leaking, it's just running out underneath the pump. So that's something that can happen through maybe through the winter, it drying out and starting up. The little rubber seal there can get busted or broke and crack, and it starts to leak around the shaft. So you want to get a new seal and install a new seal. I'll demonstrate how to install seals with a real pump. Uh, all pumps are basically the same. How to get to the impeller area. It's according to which one you got. Which I can just take any random pump and take it apart and show you how to do that. We'll get to that later, but just going over some of the things that can go wrong here. Um, and just remember that if your pump is working good, you backwash, you cut the pump off, you go to rinse, and then you rinse for about 20 to 30 seconds, and you cut it off, and you go to back to filter. Um, if your pressure it should be normal around that after you clean your sand filter, around 12 to 15 pounds. Some people say 12 to 20. It's basically has a lot to do with the size of your returns. Eyeballs, the size can you can restrict a lot where your pressure builds up on your pump. But if you took an eyeball out, it'd drop way down. So the size of your eyeballs is a factor on your pressure on your filter. So if your filter's clean and running good, it should take a week or so, or you just keep an eye on your pressure gauge. And when it gets 6 to 8 pounds above your normal pressure, where you start out clean, that's when you backwash. Don't let it go and build up higher, higher, higher pressure. It'll only damage something. It can damage the filter. Um, your restricting the flow to your pool through your dirty sand is not good on nothing. It's just your water can turn green, your chemical turnover rate is not the same, so your chemical introduction to your pool is not going to be the same. So it just messes it all up. So just real easy to keep your filter checked and keep an eye on that pressure gauge because it tells you everything that you need to know about your pool. Um, I'm going to get into other little details and little things that you can look for on the next one. But one other thing, if you can't find why you're getting air into your pump pot, which is either coming from the main drain of the skimmer, and it's not your flap, it's not that the water level's too low, that you are still sucking air. I take and tell you this one little tip. You get your water hose and you get over there, you turn the water on low, so you got a little stream coming out, and you just take that and you hold it over your pump. You put it over the lid, you put it over the plugs, you move it around, put it on the male adapter screwing into it, and then you go to your valves. But you let it pour and drench over these areas. If it's sucking air, the water will stop the air bubbles from coming in, and you'll be able to find where your air is coming in just with a water hose. Just laying it over the top of the valves, the handles and stuff, just move it around. Everything from the ground up going to the pump pot. You check it, even the plugs. Put that water over on the plugs, and if hold it just for a second there, a little bit. Watch your pump pot. If the bubbles disappear, you found your problem. Um, that's pool talk for the day. Your little tip. Uh, want you to comment. Let me know what your problems are. I can help you. I'm just the builder. That's all I've done all my life. Didn't come out of a book. Came from hard work. Thank you. I'll see you next time on Pool Talk.